I haven't really kept up with the MCU lately due to superhero fatigue and just being disappointed over the last few entries. However, on Halloween, I sat down and watched the special presentation Werewolf by Night and thoroughly enjoyed it. Not only was it a breath of fresh air in terms of style and story, but also just the format of it being an hour-long standalone special. Instead of needing multiple movies or TV shows for setup, the plot is laid out, the characters are introduced, and we simply get to enjoy it, all without feeling like we're missing out because we didn't watch something prior. Right out of the gate, this special is oozing with style. They took an obvious approach to pay tribute to Universal classic monster movies. Werewolf by Night is in black and white, has over-the-top orchestral music, and of course, spooky monsters. One of my favorite subtle nods to this era of film is the blinking circles in the top right of the screen.
In the industry, we call them cigarette burns.
These little blips are cue marks and are visual indicators to signal to the projectionist that the film reel is about to end and the next one needs to be changed out for the movie to continue. These simple details make the film feel like a genuine classic monster movie. They also just made really solid choices in shot compositions, specifically the transformation of the werewolf. It isn't shown directly, but rather through flashes of light, shadows, and Elsa's reaction. While it could be argued that this was done to save on CGI budgets, I much prefer the sense of mystery and intrigue that the style choice brings. Right after, the werewolf breaks free only for everyone to be looking around as suspense, and just before he jumps onto his first victim, his eyes faintly glow in the background. This subtle choice felt like a reward. As soon as he was lost by his captors, I had been looking around the room intently to see if I could spot him, and upon doing so, I got to see his grand entrance that other viewers may have missed. The black and white also gives a lot more wiggle room when it comes to blood and gore. While it's never too intense, there's much more blood present here than anything we've seen in the Marvel universe so far. I'm honestly thankful for that, seeing as Deadpool is now part of the MCU and Blade is currently being worked on. This could have been them testing the waters a bit to see how much they could get away with. Rather than people dying in explosions or not showing the killing blow, here people's deaths are much more explicit. Seeing as the monster hunt quickly turns into a battle royale, the hunters killing each other warrant some violent fights and deaths. While I don't think that blood and gore automatically means a better experience, I do want the amount to match the overall tone, and for a horror special, I think they nailed it. With all the action, blood, and gore present, I didn't expect to find myself laughing as much as I did. Perhaps my opinion of MCU humor has gone down in the last few months, but I genuinely enjoy the humor here. While it does hold true to an overall horror vibe, moments of comedy shone through in times I wasn't expecting. Firstly, Ulysses Bloodstone's corpse is animated like a puppet to give a speech. While this certainly is macabre, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it. Then towards the end of his speech, the dead body makes a freaking pun.
Good luck. I'll be rotting for you.
Later, Jack is asking Elsa how to activate the small explosive device they plan to use to bust open the wall, only to accidentally turn it on. As the beeping continues, he quickly sprints to the wall and throws it. There's this back and forth with him trying to figure out how to place it all while the tension is building that it could blow up at any second. In a genre where comedy usually comes in the form of sarcastic or witty quips, it was really nice to see comedy used in just funny scenarios. The narrative as well was handled in an interesting way. While the plot and the characters are laid out plain as day, I was surprised by the main plot twist of the film. Going into the movie, it's obvious that there's going to be a werewolf involved. It's in the title after all. So I was quickly looking at all of the characters and trying to figure out who exactly was the werewolf. There's a lot of time spent on Jack, so I immediately assumed it was him. While I did turn out to be correct, I was caught off guard when he turned out to be a friend of the monster being hunted and that he was only there to help him escape. Admittedly, I know very little about Man-Thing, aka Ted, but it was a delight seeing him interact with Jack and also fight, even if it was extremely brief. I also love the interactions between Jack and Elsa. Jack seems like such a genuinely kind-hearted individual who's just there to help, even offering to assist bandaging up Elsa's wounds. Jack is even quick to trust Elsa and tells her that he's only there to free his friend, Ted. Elsa, on the other hand, has a difficult time trusting him, mostly because it's every person for themselves in this contest for the Bloodstone. However, they come to an agreement that Elsa gets the Bloodstone if she helps Jack free Ted. While their end goals and demeanors are quite different, they're both outcasts compared to the rest of the hunters. Upon finding the truth that Jack is a werewolf, he's thrown into a cage with Elsa and they argue over the fact that he's dangerous. This juxtaposition with Jack believing that monsters can take precautions in order to be safe, and Elsa disagreeing but being ostracized by the other hunters leads to a satisfying resolution. He transforms and the two kill everyone there, but he doesn't kill Elsa. In the end, he was right, and Elsa, now in possession of the Bloodstone, has a whole new outlook on how monsters function. The only criticisms I have for Werewolf by Night, I'm admittedly on the fence about. With it being so good, I found myself wanting more, specifically with the other hunters. I think just a tiny bit of background story, or even if they had unique powers or weapons that they used to hunt monsters, would have been a cool touch. That said, it being a short, one-off story could be the reason it was so good. So while I was interested in the other hunters and wanted them to be more than just werewolf fodder, maybe adding more would have diluted the core essence of the show. I'm hoping that since Werewolf by Night has been well received, Marvel will try doing more stylized one-offs like this. I wouldn't mind seeing more special presentations like this even with more obscure Marvel characters. Not everything needs to be connected, have cameos, or even further the overall plot of the MCU. Sometimes it's nice to just have something that's fun to watch, and Werewolf by Night is exactly that. If you're a big Marvel fan, then make sure to check out my Thor Love and Thunder review, or feel free to check out my other reviews in this playlist. As always, have a good day and peace out.